Can you talk a little bit about versatility and how that can change a series when it's like the last card to play?
Yeah, and I think who've mastered that is over the last like 10 years is Golden State. And the main reason is because of Draymond Green. When we played them in 2015 in the finals, I believe they started the series off. I believe it was either Bogut or David Lee was starting at the center. You know, and you know, obviously we was out without Kevin Love, and unfortunately Kyrie got hurt in overtime of Game 1.
Kevin had a concussion?
Kevin separated shoulder.
Shoulder.
And Kyrie dislocated his kneecap. But we ended up going up 2-1. And because of Draymond and because of Iguodala and because of Sean Livingston, it gave them the dynamic. In Game 4, Draymond started at the 5, Iguodala started at the 4. We stayed pat with our lineup of, you know, Tristan and Timothy Mozgov, myself, J.R. Smith, and I believe Dellavedova. Matt Deli, and it changed the landscape of their team.
Right.
And it's still to this day, the versatility that Draymond allows Steve and that franchise to have, it makes them who they are. And obviously we know Steph does, you know, it goes back to Steph is gonna do what Steph does. You know, and I think that's what the game of basketball is, to be able to have that versatility. To be able to have 6-7 guys that can play big or be able to switch out on guards, you know, having, you know 6'5", 6'4", 6'8", 6'9" across the board to be able to make you so versatile that you always keep the defense or keep the other team at bay. Because there's some teams that just won't change, or they don't have the versatility package to be able to do it.
Right.
You know, so that is huge.
Yeah,
huge.
I mean, they traditionally were happy to start with the center, but what they were saying at this point is we're going to play our last card.
Yeah, we'll play our last card.
Take that off the table. Draymond at 5. So immediately Mozgov has to guard the playmaker. Draymond's the playmaker, and then defensively they can switch. And now, okay, if you want to go to Mozgov in the post, they're not going to you in the post. Right. So they've now played that card. By playing it the entire game, their death lineup. And so now it's a blanking contest. Are you able to stick with it, or are you going to have to go to the point 5?
I think they showed the league a lot. I mean, we did it, obviously, in Miami our second year when Spo was a genius to be able to move Bosh to the 5. You know, we played big early on with Joel Anthony and Chris Bosh, or Udonis Haslem and Chris Bosh. You know, and I think when Bosh went to the 5, it gave us some versatility as well. You know, being more athletic, being a lot longer, being able to open up the court a lot more. Because CB could hit the 3, the corner 3. You know, and that's the game. That's the game, to be able to have those dynamics. I mean, you look at Boston. Boston won it, you know, by how versatile they are. You know, when they added Drew Holiday, it made them so much more dynamic.
Right.
Obviously, the growth of Jason and Jalen, you know, but they're going to be who they are. But to be able to add a guy like Drew Holiday, who is basically a Swiss Army knife, you tell him, what do you need? What do you need, coach? All right, I got it. You know, and that to be able to have those dynamics and have those players, you as a coaching staff, that's something that you dream of, to be able, because every series in the postseason is different.
That's right.
Okay, maybe we need to play bigger this postseason in this series. Okay, now this series requires to be more fast. Okay, now this need to be more physical. Now we need to really dial in and be able to have those cards. To be able to play, you know, Uno. I always got to draw 4 cards. Always got it. You know, you say Uno, I'm right here, I'm ready. As soon as you say Uno, I'm throwing this draw 4 down. That is the luxury. That's the luxury.
And that is the model, having more positionless players. I mean, you can even talk about what's Golden State starting it, the way Boston plays now. I mean, obviously Porzingis, when he plays, is a stretch 5 to protect the rim. But when he doesn't play, they still have positionless basketball. 5 point guards playing blender, lots of threes. Same, in a sense, you can make it a comparison to your Lakers team with AD going to the 5, winning a championship. You could go positionally big, but you could also go with a center and AD next to him. You look at this OKC team.
Yeah.
You know, they not only have all sorts of guys that can switch, guard multiple positions, but can play blender, make open shots, or they can go with the two bigs with Hardenstein. So you're talking about the top teams, like same with Cleveland.
Same with Cleveland.
With the two bigs, or
They
taking
have
one off
Mobley at the
floor.
5 or Jared Allen playing right beside him. Yeah, absolutely.
Optionality, and one of the cards has to be being able to switch. The other card is being able to go a little bigger. You know, those cards, not everyone has.
Not everyone has, and that is a luxury.
That's right. And then you get to the leadership hierarchy, the resilience, toughness, the IQ. And that's what it is. It's the teams that have the profile on the roster, that have the buy-in, that have the leadership, the hierarchy, the resilience, the mental toughness. That's who you see in the finals every year.
There you go.